Welcome to Unity. We're just going to call you into the presence of this room, and we always chant something into the universe. The Spirit's always available to each and every one of us, connecting from the inside, but to leave the world outside of these doors in this moment. And let's just call through our breath and through the song, Spirit to enter our being and remember the power and the love that lives within us. You are the air I breathe. You are the air I breathe. Your home in my lungs, living in me. And I'm grateful for you. And I'm grateful for you. Now sing it. Now you know the song. You are the air I breathe. You are the air I breathe. Your holy presence living in me. And I'm grateful for you. And I'm grateful for you. So it is. Amen.
Good morning, everyone. Okay, did everybody have a great Thanksgiving? Okay, let's keep it going. Everybody tuning in online, watching this on screen, let's keep that Thanksgiving feeling going. Let's be grateful for everything we encounter on our path. So we don't have to be concerned about all the things that are on the periphery that we really can't do very much about, watch them unfold. But we can do everything about what appears on our path. What's going on in your life? For that, you can be grateful, you can be helpful, you can be happy and joyful and serving. And if we do that, we're going to change everything, even the stuff on the periphery. All right, look, everybody's sitting here in a pew. You have these sheets right in front of you in the pew. If you want to be in closer contact with us, just fill out the front of the sheet. Gives us your information. We can email you about all of our special services, our classes that are going on. And on the back, you can fill out because it's for a special prayer request. If you have a particular challenge that you want people to pray for, focused people to pray for, then fill it out and put it in the offering basket as it comes around. Or you can leave it on the desk out front. We'll pick it up. So that's a good way to stay in touch with what's going on here at Unity of Boulder. Is there anybody here from another Unity? Anybody here for the first time? Raise your hand if you're here for the first time. Oh, you are. But how brave of you for the first time to come down and sit up front. You know? That's very brave. Keep your hand up. We have a gift for you. Can we give this young lady a gift? Oh, it's a bag full of marijuana. Yeah, you can. Don't smoke it during the service. Okay, well, it's great having you all with us. Tell your friends about Unity. Unity is a fully diversified experience We love diversity because that's what life is. It's different and it's beautiful in so many different ways. You're going to love this talk coming up.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity Boulder. Welcome to those of you who are here in person and those of you who are joining us online. We love having you here. We love having you with us, whether you're here or online. We appreciate it every week. My name is Mike Shadle. I'm the administrator here at Unity of Boulder. If you ever have any questions, comments, or concerns, my office is right in there. I also handle event and space rental here. If you ever have any events, birthdays, parties, anything you need space for to have, please contact me and I'll set you up. We've got all sorts of different rooms. It's not just this huge stage that we rent out, so please get with me. I'd love to chat with you about it. Our choir season is now in full effect. We are now entirely only in Christmas service mode for our choir. So if you would like to join our choir, it meets this Tuesday at 6:30, and we'll meet every Tuesday and Thursday night at 6:30. You don't have to have any experience to join. You don't even have to sign up. You literally just show up at 6:30. We'd be happy to invite teenagers, people of any age, anyone and any and all singing ability. Please join us. We'd love to have you join the choir. It's a fun way to get involved here at the church, meet other churchgoers, such as Andy Lennox here, who deserves a little bit of a round of applause for his work this week on the Thanksgiving potluck. I'll let him say a few things about that.
So yeah, hi everybody. Today's good news, bad news. The good news is that I actually have 2 Uniteens that I'm going to join right after this announcement. Yeah. The bad news is that I'm going to miss Syntysche's talk and the great music. If you've not heard Heather, who works in the front there, she's this quiet, deep reservoir of talent. So my message today is, again, keep coming. One of the most rewarding things about this Thanksgiving was the number of volunteers that came. It was just beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. And there are so many great people who come to Unity, not just to volunteer, but, who just show up here. So keep going, invite your friends. Jack's got like a bale of marijuana that he wants to get rid of in the back, and it's kind of stinking up the place. Yeah, so that needs to be distributed. But this is a wonderful institution. The energy here is great, and I'm just back from, for the last couple of months, but I've met just some of the finest people. So I'm not going to borrow Jack's shirt, his magic shirt. I'm actually going to have a cheerleader outfit made for myself. And I'm just encouraging you to join the choir, come and volunteer, come to the services. Just keep on keeping on, and thank you so much for everything.
Andy, thank you massively. Even for you, you went above and beyond with that potluck, so that was awesome.
Again, thank you to all the volunteers. There were probably at least 15, 16 people, including many who had never heard of Unity and who chose this place to volunteer. Tell me Spirit isn't at work, so thank you.
Thank you. And Andy, I know you're going to miss Syntysche's talk today, but don't forget, right after the service, it'll be uploaded to YouTube, where anyone can watch it, and you can share it with your friends and family. Anyone you think might enjoy Syntysche's message here today, or Jack's message from any of our past services. So that's on YouTube. You just search Unity of Boulder Church, and they'll all pop up, and you can even search by name, by Jack, or by Syntysche, or by guest speaker. So our Wounded Knee gift drive that we do every year has officially started. This is the drive we do where we send up all sorts of clothing, warm clothing, boots, coats, blankets, heaters, anything to help keep people warm up to the Wounded Knee reservation. I'll tell you, the thing we don't want is regular day-to-day clothes. They're not looking for that. They're not looking for shirts and t-shirts and blouses and stuff like that. They're really just looking for warm stuff. So, but by next week we will have our gift tree up in the lobby that will have tags for gifts for children that will have the ages and gender of children, so you can take a tag, an age and a gender, and buy a gift appropriate for that, and wrap it, and then bring it back and put it under the tree, and we'll send all those up. So please, we're also going to have, next week, we'll have our list up in the lobby of all the food we need, so we can put together a beautiful Christmas meal for them at the end of this month. So please check that all out, and we'll have it up online here shortly, so you can check out the list of all the stuff we need, so we can really make this drive massive and really fill up our truck. They love it every year, and we love doing it. So now I'd like to welcome out this week's musical guest. You will definitely recognize one of the members of our musical act today. Today's special guest here is Raven Wolf. They've been performing together for over 27 years, bringing you funky, folky, tripped out acoustic rock. They'll be performing live. He wrote this. They'll be performing live this Saturday at Boco Cider in North Boulder. Stop by their table in the lobby right out here to find out more about Raven Wolf. So let's kick the dust off our boots and hear it up for Raven Wolf.
Thanks, Mike. Hit it, Louie. time you hurt me, breath by breath, every time I sow seed, step by step, breath by breath, step by step, breath by breath, step by step, breath by breath, step by step. Thank you, everybody. Hope to see you Saturday.
That was quite the raucous way to start there, Heather. Rocking it up here. Thank you. Good morning. Nice to see you all here today. So let's just get in the presence of this room. That was kind of like wild to come out and do kind of a serious sermon. Maybe I could just do some comedy for all of you, and that would make a little more sense after that. I love it, though. It's great. So today my talk title is Keeping the Promises You Make to Yourself. And I've been pondering lately, promises that I've made to myself through time and which ones I've held on to and fulfilled, and ones that I keep putting to the side that there's some distant day. There's a distant day or time that it will be more of an opportune time for everyone in my life when I would achieve these things in my life or hold to them, and pushing it off. I always have this goal that the last child will be gone in 4 years, and then I'm going to make my life more about what I want to create in my world. But I also realize that that's just not, there's always going to be something. Something will show up at that point. Who knows? I'll be publishing a book. Who knows what that next moment is. So we push off maybe fulfilling our dreams, the things that we want to create in our life. And a lot of times it's due to people, family members in our lives. We kind of, at least I have kind of worked my life to try to make everybody be okay. And then I've been last on that list. And so I want to talk about that, keeping the promises that we make with ourselves. And those are usually not promises we've shared with anybody else, right? So it's usually our own stuff, our own, when are you going to really show up and give yourself the life that you deserve? And I've been working with that, and I have been actually really, last week I did a sermon on living with an open heart completely. And what does that really mean? Do we feel safe enough in every area of our life to live with an open heart? And I was sharing how, there were areas that I felt that I could live completely in an open heart, but there were areas that I felt that I'm guarded with my open heart because I don't feel safe to live in this expanded state of consciousness everywhere. It's not every area of life feels safe. So I'm going to visit that a little bit more today. But in the Bible, it says, heaven is in the very midst of you. Heaven is in the very midst of this moment. So it's not 4 years down the road when the last child leaves. Heaven is in the very midst of this moment. And it's not about some distant day that we're going to go to heaven and then we can relax and surrender and be in this blissful, awakened state. How do we bring attention to the areas that we need to bring light to, and give them life in this moment, right? So that we no longer are letting ourselves down and not holding our promises to ourselves. So I want to talk about that. So bringing light and attention to the hidden places within ourselves. And when we do that, we will begin to feel rightly about what we can create and manifest in our life now. Right? So bring to mind something that you've pushed off that you're like, well, when I get my degree, or I get my master's degree, or I find that perfect partner, or, I don't know, whatever conditions we bring up to kind of put a block in our way from our own inner desires. And, Esther Hicks says, when we're having an inner desire, it's not selfish. It's spirit knocking on the door saying there's so much more in this area of our life. So we'll tend to go, I can't listen to that right now. I'm too busy. I've got too much to do. I have too much to fulfill. I've got all these things that are depending on me besides myself. And yet all these things that are depending on us is getting a limited version of what we're able to give to this universe because we're keeping ourselves last on the list, and I'm saying this to all the moms in this crowd because, I mean, if you are moms, you understand that they come first. The kids come first. And even when, I know it's a joke to think that my last kid will be 18 and then it ends, you know, mothering, obviously, it never ends. You know, I have a 4-year-old daughter, and it's a completely different hat of mothering, but it's absolute, I'm needed still completely. So in the book, Love Without Conditions, it says, by Paul Ferrini, deeply embedded in your psyche is the call to awaken. It does not sound like the call that anyone else hears. If you are listening to others, you will not hear the call. But once you hear it, you will recognize that others hear it too in their own way. And you will be able to join with them in simple support, blessing them. You bless yourself, setting them free to travel their own path. You will set yourself free to travel yours. There is no competition. There is no greed. For there's nothing to get, nothing to achieve. All is there for the taking that it might be given away. Excuse me. And in every gift that is given, be it yours or another's, is the miracle contained. And in every gift that is given, be it yours or another's, is the miracle contained. It gives us an opportunity for new ways to cultivate love, peace, forgiveness, gratefulness, and a deep sense of connection into a greater whole, no matter who you are or where you come from. Whether you seek to transform your life completely or simply make adjustments that will add a whole new layer of richness to your everyday experiences. So who's feeling that call for awakening right now? Who's working with that? Who's feeling that call for awakening? And who wants a complete and total awakening, or let's just do a total, complete awakening? Who's here for just the partial? So that means there's a lot of things we have to visit inside that we need to shine light on. And last week I was talking about how we can identify things that might have cut us in the past, but we don't need to look to the story anymore that created that thing that keeps us from living fully. You know, we don't have to now identify with the story, but to identify that there's somewhere we're holding in our subconscious to keep us from living fully connected and trusting God, Source, Spirit. You know, what is that feeling? Not necessarily what is that story, you know, moving out of that. There's a great book called The Power of the Spirit by Sonia Chaquette, and she says this: connecting to Spirit isn't necessarily a grand to-do. Rather, it is a subtle yet powerful inner experience. You don't have to undergo some earth-shattering spectacle to make a positive transformation. Although your ego will certainly try to make you believe that this is necessary, in fact, it will try to convince you that a shift to living a Spirit-empowered life is extraordinarily complicated. Remember that your ego will do anything to stay in control. The real shift lies in perception. When you stop looking at the world with such a critical view, believing that this is all there is, and recognize and appreciate the wonder of every aspect of life, then the transformation is well underway. When you stop looking at the world with such a critical view, believing that this is all there is, and recognize and appreciate the wonder of every aspect of life, then the transformation is well underway. My brother Shad spoke on Thanksgiving and gave, in my opinion, the greatest sermon he's ever given. And he was talking about how Charles and Myrtle Fillmore founded Unity, and they were spiritualists. They believed in something so much more than this human experience. And their books are so transformative because where they take you when you read their materials, because they lived it, it gets you out of this stuck place that it's just, you know, we're just seeing what's in front of us, and all of it's, you know, whatever it is, it's very human and it's very, you know, lame, you know. And he talked about how you can only manifest and become the greatness of that which you can see in your mind's eye. You have to be able to see yourself as if you've already attained this love for self, or being a radiating center of the Christ light, or being able to heal this ailment you've been struggling with, and you're believing in the doctors, telling you what's wrong versus what the miracle's going to be. It's like seeing in the future and becoming it, and watching how it does become that and even something more. I was inspired by it, and it was just neat to see how far. I think he's always been a great speaker, but he is my little brother. And you still always have that big sister like, that was a good talk, But this was his greatest talk, in my opinion, and I was so proud. But staying within, what Charles and Myrtle Fillmore was creating in Unity, they weren't trying to start a new religion. They were starting to create a practice that could be added unto any religion. So it was like a study group that it was supposed to be a school where people actually met after they went to Catholic church, or they went to their Buddhist center, or they went to wherever. Then they could come together and speak metaphysically about manifesting what they'd heard as a sermon at their churches in the morning. But eventually people voted and really wanted to make it a spiritual life. So it started meeting on Sundays in the morning during church hours. So, many of us have ideals that we want to live up to. Like, we want to be kind. We want to be service-oriented. With my children, one of mine is I want to be in a good mood. I want to stay in a good mood. And even if I'm not in a good mood, I want to look like I'm in a good mood. Just so that their resonance feels that they're as much joy for me as they truly are. I want that mirror for them to know that they're loved. And I guess that's because I want to have the mirror in this world tell me that I'm loved. We practice a lot giving to our children what we want to receive as people. So we have to ask, what is our daily practice? What are we doing to soften the places and the edges that are a little sharp in our lives? What are we doing to come into this direct connection with Spirit that moves in and through us and is available every second of every day? But the world will distract us, and we look to the news, and we look to the hardships of the world, and we look to all these things that can keep us from looking inward and connecting with the heart, with this heart that so wants to be softened and opened and felt and seen, right? So I was reading a little passage about the Lakota natives in the way that they believed. They didn't believe in separation of everything, whereas we tend to see ourselves as separate individuals, moving through life and, trying to control as much as we can. And, it's trying to basically organize chaos. But what they see is like a tree. We see a tree over there. They see no detachment from it. They see no detachment from every living thing that comes into their lives. They recognize that they're one with everything. And everything is one with them. And so the nature is softer, and the presence of coming into life and being with life is at the pace of the heartbeat of the Mother Earth, of the divine feminine that is soft and kind and loving and intuitive and psychic and aware from an eagle point of view, not from the little mouse point of view of looking at the world and being overwhelmed. And they realize that they're a part of the cycles of life, so they're looking further down the road, that they're protective of the cycles of life so that they're available for many generations beyond themselves. And, they say to serve is how we receive, to realize that it's not just about us, but it's about the collective energetic energy that we're a part of. What are we bringing to it? What are we sharing in it? How are we showing up to it? Are we meditating every day? Are we doing our exercises? Are we walking on the earth? Gosh, it's warm enough outside, we can still be earthing with no socks on our feet and just walking on the dirt. There's no greater thing to do when you're feeling lost and feeling like you can't make a decision, or you're feeling overwhelmed, just to take your shoes off and walk outside on the grass, on the dirt, even though it's kind of sharp right now. It just takes all the stress out of your feet. And all of a sudden, we're awakened to this greater knowledge, this soul knowledge that we've had from so many lifetimes, telling us what is needed, what is being called, and what is next. It's those subtle moments when we realize that Spirit's beckoning us, like at a grocery store. I just had this the other day. I was standing to get food, and the line was really long, and I was getting a little bit annoyed by it because I had to get somewhere else. And this baby is over the shoulder of this father with these big, beautiful eyes just staring right into my soul. And it was like, how can I ignore perfection when I'm feeling this busyness of life, which that busyness of life is taking a lot of our peace away? So I started playing with, I think it was a boy. I mean, it had long hair, but it looked like a boy. I'm not sure, but it was gorgeous anyways. It was a beautiful soul. And playing, and it was just pure joy. I just was filled with ecstasy after this visit from Spirit through these big baby eyes of just pure, unconditional love. Or have you ever had one of those moments when you're sitting in the car and something feels like, you feel like somebody's staring at you from another car, and you look over and it's a dog? That's the best. That's just the best feeling. It's like the universe is beckoning you. Remember, it's all so sweet. It's all so beautiful. But we can get so caught up with all of the outer distractions and busyness and lose our sense of we are a part of all of it, and all of it is a part of me. And so therefore there's nothing out to get me. It's all for me. And when we change our perspective that it's all for me, even the difficult stuff is for me. Not you, it's just all for me. I'm just kidding. It grows us, right? It opens us up, and it deepens our understanding of our relationship with this universe and with others, right? So I wanted to share just a short video that I think speaks to this in a really beautiful way. And so we'll just play this video.
A few months ago, after knowing Eckhart Tolle for a while and studying the books, I woke up and I suddenly got it. I understood suddenly how thought was just an illusory thing. And how thought is responsible for, if not all, most of the suffering we experience. And then I suddenly felt like I was looking at these thoughts from another perspective. And I wondered, who is it that's aware that I'm thinking? And suddenly I was thrown into this expansive, amazing feeling of freedom from myself, from my problems. I saw that I was bigger than what I do. I was bigger than my body. I was everything and everyone. I was no longer a fragment of the universe. I was the universe. And ever since that day, I've been trying to get back there. It comes and it goes. It's It's like riding a wave. Sometimes I'm on, sometimes I'm off. But at least I know where I want to go. And I want to take as many people with me as I possibly can, because the feeling is amazing.
Can you relate with that? Those moments you're so on, and you're just surfing that wave, and you just think it's going to last, and then you crash, and there you are again, and we're picking ourselves up, and we're trying to ride that wave again. And I think that's really where the practice comes in. This is where the meditation has to become consistent. Walking meditations, affirming your healing, affirming your good, affirming the abundance, affirming the love you deserve in just walking. Having an affirmation that you're living with is a powerful, powerful thing, and especially if you plant it in seed in meditation and then let it grow all day. And watch how you're met by this affirmation. The affirmation I've been working with has been, I am so grateful that I can live with an open heart completely. That's been an affirmation. So it's just simple. But to be with it, I am so grateful that I am living with an open heart completely. So I wanted to recognize some people today. Mahatma Gandhi says, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. And this week we had a wonderful love-in where I got to witness a lot of people serving the center, and it was so heartwarming and beautiful. And I want to call out Andy and Joan. Is Joan in here? There she is. She and her husband oversaw the potluck for over 60 people on Thanksgiving, and they oversaw about 20 volunteers, was it, that you? So I just would really like to thank them for their dedication and their time in giving their holidays to it. And I mean, if you want to see a couple people that were aglow, when you're living in service and you're a part of creating what Christ consciousness wants to create in this world, you are carried, are you not? I mean, you're carried by this light, this love. And the two of them, they looked exhausted, but they were a light when I saw them. And everybody that worked with them, I've had feedback from people said it was such a wonderful, wonderful experience. So I thank you, and please let Andy know. He's teaching Uniteens right now, so he's really serving the center, and I'm really grateful for it. So, and if you want to get involved, we have choir coming starting Tuesday. If you can sort of sing, just join us. When you're sitting next to people that can sing, it just brings the beautiful sounds of your voice, and it's a wonderful, wonderful way to feel a connection with God. They say to sing is to pray twice. But we always kind of wonder, how can we get connected with that vastness, this vastness of this universe, and have it move in and through our lives? How do we touch base with that? I mean, we have meditations sometimes where we have a very clear vision about what is being called. And sometimes we just leave a meditation and we're just more peaceful. Or we have our shopping list perfectly ready for ourselves. It depends on what you decide to put in your consciousness, right? So Edgar Cayce famously said that nothing of importance happens in our lives that isn't first foreshadowed by a dream. This doesn't mean that all of our dreams predict the future, nor do they necessarily tell us what to do, but they do provide insights from our subconscious, our soul, minds, to assist us with whatever is going on in our lives. The subconscious mind is like a bird high above the road we are traveling. It can see more than our conscious mind, and we can access to it through our dreams. The more we learn to recall and understand dreams, the better we understand our deeper fears, desires, and unconscious knowing, as the purpose of our dreams is to make us more consciously aware of these underlying motivations and how they apply to our waking lives. Dreams also tell us how our thoughts, actions, and intentions fit in with our spiritual goals and life's purpose. They can show us the desires that are motivating us and even help us sense the needs of our bodies. Our subconscious minds communicate through the use of universal symbols, images that seem to have a common meaning among people all over the world. For example, a symbol such as a lion has a universal or archetypal meaning of power and vitality. Birds frequently symbolize various kinds of love or spirituality. Water is often suggestive of emotions or the unconscious mind. A grandmother or grandfather can symbolize our higher self or our own internal wisdom. Myths or fairy tales often have similarities among cultures, and these similarities are shown through universal symbols and themes. So it's basically saying how you can look at those myths and see what the actual metaphysical meaning, how can we apply it, Over time, you'll come to learn what water, fire, and other common symbols mean to you. In the beginning, you may find it helpful to start with the archetypal meanings of these symbols. And if you look up the ARE and look up Dream Dictionary, it's a really, really neat way to start looking at what your dreams are meaning, right? This dictionary may be used as a starting point for assembling a more complete reference for your personal dream interpretation. One way to do this is to devote one section of your dream journal to a personalized dictionary. So my parents' spiritual work started in a dream interpretation group called the Search for God group, which is through the Edgar Cayce, through the Edgar Cayce Foundation in New York City. And I was raised with dinners every night talking about what our dreams were the night before, and them teaching us how to interpret what the different animals or different situations or snakes or whatever meant in the dreams. And it was fun, but yet it was insightful, and I've used it my whole life to look at the dreams and go, well, what did that dream mean? And when I was writing this sermon, I feel like I haven't really been dreaming that much lately. So I'm going to talk about a dream that I had last night. So in exploring our dreams and listening to messages from our subconscious, we can begin to find answers within our own self. The answers have been there all the time. We just never knew how to look for them. In Numbers 12:6, it says, he said, listen to my words. When there's a prophet among you, I, the Lord, reveal myself to them in visions. I speak to them in dreams. He said, listen to my words. When there's a prophet among you, I, the Lord, reveal myself to them in visions. I speak to them in dreams. So I have this simple list that you guys could take your phones out and take a picture to talk about interpreting your dreams if you're interested. Here's a simple 4-step approach that Edgar Cayce came up with to help you interpret what your dreams are. Number 1, write down your dreams each day. Begin by realizing that the feeling you had about the dream is at least as important as trying to come up with an interpretation. Are you ready for me to switch? You guys are such good students, pulling out your phones. Because of the multiple levels of our own beings, dreams generally have more than one meaning. Number 2, remember that for the most part, every character in the dream represents a part of yourself. Watch the actions, feelings, expressions, and conversations of these characters in your dreams and measure them against the activities in your waking life. Three, watch for reoccurring symbols, characters, and emotions in your dreams, and begin a personal dream dictionary of these symbols and what their importance is to you. When working with dreams, remember, first of all, that your dreams can be extremely helpful, even if you don't recognize immediately what they mean. So in the last few years, and I haven't had this dream in a while, but it was brought back to me, and I'd forgotten that I'd had this dream because I was visited about this dream that I was having a lot more often than I would like to admit. I was having a recurring dream that I was losing the ability to walk. In the dreams, I was dragging one of my legs to step up steps. And sometimes I was just crawling in the dreams, and my legs were not responding. The reoccurring feeling in the dream I was having was that I was trying to hide from my husband and my children, that I was losing the ability to walk. So not to burden them, to not make them be worried that something was wrong with me. I would wake up in absolute worry. It would leave me pretty quickly, but then I was having this dream quite a bit. And I haven't had it in a little while. And it was scary. It was so real, I can't even tell you, and as like a dancer, that's like, you don't even think about something like that happening, and here I'm having these dreams, and I'm trying to lift this leg up, and I don't want anybody to know that I can't lift it. So when I look up the dictionary, I actually just looked it up today to figure out what it meant. It said that the loss of something symbolizes some anxiety and some major change in your life. You've reached a new level of stability and calmness. So it does the negative and the positive. So it's like negative, positive. So the dream symbolizes some anxiety on some major change in your life. And the other is you've reached a new level of stability and calmness. You are shielding yourself from your emotions. Your dream is an evidence for some self-doubt. The dream refers to how you are performing in various aspects of your life. You will succeed in overcoming your rivals and fears. The dream indicates your need for spiritual nourishment and enlightenment. And the hiding represented some situation or someone has been draining you of your energy and resources. This dream is a premonition for your importance in some decision. It is the part of yourself that you feel or are ashamed of. So it's really interesting to see when something starts to be reoccurring. And I've not had dreams that reoccurred that much in my life, but obviously that was a kind of a crisis moment for me to be looking and interpreting what was going on in my life. So last night, I had a dream. Last night I was reminded that I had completed the need for this dream, but was being shown that I had overcome what that dream was teaching me. When I became aware of this knowledge in my dream, I was laying on a floor on a beautiful blanket with someone playing a grand piano of beautiful music, filling this big open room, with love embracing my entire being, with shapeless images of spirit around me. The piano playing, so this is from that dictionary, piano playing for you, you know things will happen at their own pace. You are navigating new territory. The dream points at power and the qualities or feelings that rule your life. You feel that you are deserving. But we have to ask important questions of ourselves when we go into dream interpretation. So these are important things to ask yourself. What is it that you want? What is it that you want to heal? Bringing to presence. What do you want your body to feel like? What do you want your soul to feel like? Do you have enough peace? Are you filled with anxiety? Are you joyful? Are you laughing? Do you want to, attract a significant other? Or is your relationship not fulfilling anymore? It's being honest so that you can make some promises with yourself that you can fulfill. And that doesn't mean you have to fulfill it today. It's the planting of the seed. And recognizing that you're worthy to plant the seed and trust that the universe will make it come about in the way that the universe does, which isn't always exactly in our timing, and it's not exactly the way we want it, but if it's not the way we want it, then we know it'll be something better. We can never think for ourselves what Spirit is going to create in our lives. In the book of Awakening by Mark Nepo, it says, whatever our path, whatever the color or grain of our days, whatever riddles we must solve to stay alive, The secret of life somehow always has to do with the awakening and freeing of what has been asleep. So I'm going to take you into meditation. I'm going to do a singing meditation with my mom, if I can clear my voice here. And just close your eyes and just ponder what has been coming up for you through this sermon. What do you want? What do you want to create? Do you trust that Spirit is honorable and will give you the things that you want to create? Because the universe is super honorable. It wants to give you that perfect healing, that perfect love, that perfect life. Just taking a deep breath. Just make a promise to yourself right now that you'll keep moving forward towards this calling, towards this awakening, at the pace that makes you feel comfortable. Open my eyes, O divine one. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to feel you. I want to feel you. Open my eyes, O divine one. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to feel you. I want to feel you. To feel you holding me up, shining through my heart overflowing, source of our life as we sing, holy, holy, holy. Open my eyes, O divine one. Open the eyes to my heart. I want to feel you. I want to feel you. Open my eyes, O divine one. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to feel you. I want to feel you. To feel you holding me up, shining through my heart overflowing, source of our life as we sing, holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. And so it is. Amen.
We will take an offering for unity now, and while we're preparing to do that, just let me say to you, dreams are going to open up a whole other area, dimension of experience for you, and it's always best to operate with some other people while you're doing dream interpretation. I worked doing dream interpretation for years with the Association of Research and Enlightenment. Just out of curiosity, how many people would be interested in being part of a dream group interpreting your dreams? Let me see your hands. Okay. I'll tell you how extraordinary dream interpretation can be. I had a group of about 15 people way back when, and we go around, each person's interpreting their dreams. One gal in the group said, "I had a dream about you last night, Jack. I saw you sitting in front of a refrigerator with the door open and the light of the refrigerator was shining on you, and you had a head of lettuce that you were tearing pieces off and lopping mayonnaise on and eating it." It's a true story. And I said to her, "Well, the symbols, what does lettuce mean to you?" Fact of the matter was, that night, I was sitting in front of a refrigerator with a head of lettuce, lopping mayonnaise on it, because I had this addiction for mayonnaise and things like that. But so anything can happen to you doing dream interpretation. Be open to it. We're going to take an offering for unity now. If you want to make a physical offering, we have the baskets being passed around. We have a dip jar or credit card dip jar in the lobby. You can dip your credit card and make donations. But where could you go to really be involved with such beautiful things being shared by Syntysche this morning, opening us up to look deeply at the opportunities we have to become extraordinary. We were born to be extraordinary, but we have to step a little bit more out on faith and trust, and then the Spirit opens us up to be more and more involved in that which is extraordinary. So with that in mind, let's bring to mind that financial gift we'd like to make to Unity of Boulder. Let's bless it with this offering prayer. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, because I give. And so it is. Amen. And we have Ravenwold sharing their incredible music with us.
Thank you, Jack. Is something new out of the old. Seems like nothing ever grows cold. You leave the day on Hummingbird Way, where the grass was greener back in her day. Crabapple morning, acorn sky. Little Cleo sees me through just one eye. Sees you dancing sideways, my furry one. See you saying so long to that golden sun. Strong as you go, strong as you are, strong as you go. Strong as you are. Headed for water, but it's too hot to talk. I watch the heat waves rise as I walk, tripping on how fragile this trip has been. My heart out every Every time I lose a friend, strong as you go, strong as you are, strong as you go, strong as you are. There's something within the Grateful Dead. I've seen a lightning bridge, rainbow red. I sat with you until the dusk of dawn, and the universe calls you on. Finally calls you on. Is something new out of the old. Seems like nothing ever grows cold. In the heat of day on Hummingbird Way, where the grass is greener back in her day. As strong as you go, strong as you are, strong as you go, strong as you are, strong as you go, strong as you are, strong as you go, strong as you are. Thank you very much. I'd like to mention we'll be at Boco Cider this weekend. Come and join us. We're right here in Boulder, Colorado on a Saturday night. Thanks for having us. Take care of your furry ones.
Do you have a bunch of announcements to make real quick?
Do we have prayer partners
Yeah?
right here with the white scarf? If you have a particular challenge you want to pray with someone about, just remain seated as everyone files out, and your prayer partner will take you down to our beautiful meditation room and share a prayer with you.
And join us for choir on Tuesday at 6:30. It meets Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6:30. And if you have children, we will provide childcare if you would like to participate and you want to bring your kids. So let's all rise
Yeah.
and close with a closing song.
We have fellowship over here. When you go through these doors, go inside. If you want to stay and chat a while, we have beautiful refreshments laid out on the table. You can get involved in discussion. And
Here we go.
Here we go.
I
Release
and I let go. I let the
Spirit.
run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only for time. No more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only for time. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only for time. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only for time. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit